the first thing we're going to do is find a picture of your favorite animal. I like the look of this guy. So what I'm going to do is tap and hold the picture, and then I'm going to add it to my photos. When I go back to the Sketchbook app, I'm going to pick this little tool up here at the top that looks like a mountain with a plus symbol. So add that. I'm going to pick my picture, and then I'm going to put it in the middle here. Some people were losing this little tool, and they were losing their ability to change the color. Some people were tracing it in green. So there's this really faint little circle down here. Click that and it will open up this different little tool window here. And you're going to want to pick this thing that looks like a can opener or whatever. It looks like this tool. So it's this little oval with the two circles inside of it. So you're going to turn that. If you lose that tool, that's how you turn it back on. When I have my picture in Sketchbook, I'm going to look for the basic geometric shapes that would make up my animal. Obviously, I've got a big sphere for his body. I can put a cone on for his tail. I've got cylinders that would make up his leg. I would have a series of cylinders that would make up his neck. I'd do a sphere for his head and a set of triangles I think I would use for his beak. I need to make sure I'm working in a new layer because if I'm sketching directly onto the picture, if I erase anything, I'll erase the picture underneath it. And also I wouldn't be able to see my shape so that I could shade it later on. I find it easier to zoom in, and then I'm going to use my pencil with a pretty fine tip, and I'm going to turn my opacity way up so I can see everything. And then I'm going to start looking for those shapes, and I'll sketch them in. Where there are joints in the body, you're going to put a sphere at the joint. Imagine it would move like a robot. And you can always turn off your flamingo underneath to make sure things are looking the way you want them. Once I have my basic geometric shapes sketched in, I'm going to make a new layer, and that is where I'm going to do my shading. I also need to decide where my light is going to come from, and I think I'm going to have it come from up here in the corner. And draw my little lamp. So my light is going to be coming from this direction. So the highlights are going to be closest to the light, and the deepest parts of the shadows are going to be on the opposite side. Now make sure you remember to make a new layer where you're going to do your shading, because when you need to erase things, you don't want to be erasing your sketch underneath. We're going to do the shading on this the same way we did the sphere, but you'll just have different shapes and lines that you need to work with. Once I have everything shaded the way I want, things that are the closest to the light source will be the lightest, And then I'll use the dark values for things that are shaded by the body or far away and in shadow from the light. Now I can go in and I can turn my sketch layer off, and I can turn off my little light. And once my edges are all cleaned up, I have this perfectly shaded little three-dimensional model of my flamingo.